welcome you to a GameTime Today Player Sitdown here on the GameTime TV YouTube channel. I'm Michael Gerl, joined by Stephanie Jones of the Manitoba Gray Owls. And Stephanie, for those that don't know, you play hockey for the Manitoba Gray Owls. You and I have had a chance to talk post-game 2 or 3 times, but the time always seems to be short. Um, So I thought I'd bring you back for a bit of a longer form interview, which I'm doing one interview with each team, one player from each team leading up to the playoffs. My feature with Roy Parkin of the Manitoba Blizzard will be up shortly. This one, and then someone from the Silver Tips and the other 6 teams just on the countdown to the playoffs and the season that was. I'm just kind of getting to know people kind of away from the rink and life outside the rink, which you can't really do in a 5 minute sit down other than here and there. First off, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm just getting ready for the playoffs, sorting through playoff scenarios. If this happens, that happens, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
We'll start on that note. You've been in the lead now for 4 years, well, 5 years plus the COVID year. Have you ever seen anything so close amongst the 6 teams? I mean, this is the first time in my experience where we go into the final weekend of the season. Everybody has one game left to play, and we don't know who finishes where from 1 to 6. I'm wondering, have you seen anything like it, whether it's in the MWJHL or wherever you played hockey in the past? And how exciting is that for you as a player?
That was pretty exciting. I want to say I haven't seen it in junior yet. Last time I probably saw was probably playing AAA midget. But no, this league, every game, you don't know where you're going to be ranked after because every other team's playing and everyone's getting moved somewhere else. But it's pretty exciting. It keeps you on your toes.
Does that fine line, is that replicated in, as an example, in your team last game, a 2-1 loss to the Prairie Blaze, a game but really could have gone either way. You guys get the goal early in the third period to tie the game. They score in the third period to win. Is that really where we're at as far as fine line?
Yeah, I mean, we've had games where we've come back. We've had games where we've lost um, leading beginning of the game. It's really hard to judge what how game's gonna go before it actually starts or finishes, I guess.
So, looking back, I mean, you've had quite an interesting year for a number of circumstances. You're a multi-sport athlete, soccer, futsal, hockey. Am I forgetting something?
No, you got it.
Okay, so you played for University of St. Boniface for women's soccer. You went to I think it's the CCAA Nationals
Yeah.
in Quebec earlier this year after winning the MCAC. For those that don't know what the MCAC is, it's the Manitoba Colleges Athletic Conference. Um, what was that like, and has soccer always been a passion of yours?
Yeah, so I started playing soccer when I was about 3, but I also started skating when I was about 4. So I've always had an interest in both. Um, I favorited soccer, I would say, about till I was about 12. And then soccer kind of made me choose between hockey and soccer. So then I chose hockey because I was enjoying it a bit more. And then I really just concentrated on hockey for those years until midget. Then once I graduated high school and finished AAA, I played a year with ACC. So I played college. We won nationals in Texas, which was really cool. And then I was going to go back to school for a degree, and then at St. Boniface, and they offered me a scholarship to play on the soccer team. So I said, yeah, sure. And then I didn't want to quit hockey then either. So then I started playing junior, and that's pretty much how it went.
So, I guess a number of things off of that kind of come to mind. How do you balance both? What is that like? Because I know you've been away from the Owls for patches of games. Obviously, I'm assuming because of soccer commitment. What's that like to balance, multiple sports, right? It sounds like you're really passionate about hockey, but yet you couldn't turn down that soccer opportunity. So how, as an athlete, do you balance both?
Um, it's hard. It is really hard because I love my teammates and my teams evenly. I love the sports evenly. This really came down to my scholarship. If I don't show to the games, I don't get the money, which helps me pay for my schooling. So I think in those types of situations, it's hard. But the last 3 years playing junior and soccer, I didn't really have any conflicts. I might have missed one or two games, but this year it had to have been my last year. I had so many conflicts, and it was so hard. And yeah, it really sucks. It does. It's really hard to pick. And I've missed one for both before, and it's never easy.
So very keeping that in mind, of course, for people that don't know, you're also the captain of the Manitoba Gray Owls. Does that make it even more difficult?
Yeah, I obviously want to be there for my team and feel like they have my support at all times. So it is quite tough to feel like I'm not prioritizing them when I am. It's just there's some other things sometimes that get in the way.
And that's true too. Even as a broadcaster, for me, it's like two games at once. You gotta pick and choose where you want to be, and I think teammates on both sides of the equation understand the scenario. Um, I can't imagine how hard it was for you to miss the LG semifinal and the finals. Working so hard to get there, but you were part of it early in the weekend. Talk to me about that run to the LG for your team. It was the first major tournament that you guys had won in the history of the franchise. What was that like? And talk to me kind of about the process in your mind on how the weekend went.
Well, I was there for the first two games, so that was so awesome. It was so fun. The game against Regina was quite rough by the end. It was quite exciting to play. And then the girls were just pretty pumped for the rest of the weekend. And when I heard that we won, I watched the game, even though I wasn't there, but I was out of town. But I did watch the game, and oh my gosh, was I excited to see us win. The group chat after was just so fun, and the girls were so happy, and I couldn't have been more proud. They played unbelievable. We were down so many girls too for that game because it's hard in junior. There's a lot of everyone has a life. We're all trying to adult now. We're all working in school, and everyone misses for certain reasons, and it just happens sometimes that it's all the same game. But no, I really thought the girls came to play, and I just think it shows what the Owls are capable of.
How, because when you first came to that team, there were some not fun years. We're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, and now, you're in the running for 14 or even 15 wins here as we're talking now with one regular season game left. How far has this team come, particularly in the post-COVID era?
I want to say pretty far. A lot of the girls have been on the team for a while, but even the rookies that have come in, it's just I would say it's very positive in the room. I'd say this team's very close. We do things outside of hockey, which we didn't do before COVID, or even just kind of talk in the group chats. Um, I think this team's very, very close, which helps us on the ice as well.
So just to pivot back to soccer, I mean, obviously you went to the CCA national championship, and you also won two nationals with ACC. As some of it's been to national tournaments, how different is it compared to anything else that you or the team might be used to, whether that's in league play or play downs, or and then to get to that national level, just to get there is an accomplishment in itself. Never mind to win it on the hockey side. How much, how much, how much pride do you take in having gone to hockey nationals, winning one, and now with soccer, being able to have the same experience?
Oh, it's exhilarating. It's something I am extremely proud of, but I have to thank my teammates for it because they're the only reason that I was able to experience that. And it's awesome to know that the team getting there was not done by one person, but by multiple people on the team. And the difference about going to nationals from just playing regular season games is the competition level. You're playing against people who've never played before. You kind of get used to the teams and the girls and kind of what
Yeah.
they can do and all of that. So when you go to nationals, it's really like the unexpected, the unknown. You really have no idea. So to go and to win is awesome. The funny thing though, when we won in Texas for hockey, was that we played against Minot and they were in our league. So it was like a rivalry that kind of had happened
Yeah,
throughout
I
the
remember
year.
watching that one.
Yeah, and it was just a 1-0 game. So that is pretty nerve wracking to know that it can change at any moment. But no, I for sure take a lot of pride in just being able to say that we made it there.
What did you learn about yourself in that period of time? Because I can't imagine, you know, I can't imagine having been to nationals. I mean, I'm gonna go coach a ball hockey team in nationals, as it was announced this week. But what what did you learn about yourself, right? Because I mean, obviously, you have to, for lack of a better term, get yourself right if you're going to help and be successful as a team. Each person kind of has a piece of the pie, if you will. What did you learn about yourself in that particular period of time?
I think really taking into consideration your nerves, really learning how to calm those down, play a big factor in it. But learning that playing these teams that they're probably better than the teams you're playing in your league, to not kind of get down on yourself, that the same move that you can pull or get around the same type of girls, it's not going to work at nationals, and that you've tried it and you failed at it. Well, okay, now you can't really give up. You got to try something else. You got to try something new. You got to move around. Your coach moves you positions. You just got to be okay with it. You just can't, I want to say, get in your head about it. And I think the biggest thing is getting frustrated with your other players. We're obviously not dominating like we would be in our regular league. So to be going to nationals and it not working or being as easy, you can tend to try and maybe get frustrated with other girls on the team. But to really stay positive, because as soon as you get negative, it's going downhill for the whole team. One player just has to get negative for everyone else to just kind of go downhill from there.
Is there a way to no, I'm trying to phrase this the right way. Is there a way to prepare yourself for that in league play? Because I imagine playing a game that's pretty lopsided is a lot easier than playing, say, a 1-0 game. But is there a way you can simulate close games, even though in league play they might not necessarily be?
I think it's just the mentality that you're coming in with, the mentality in the room. Um, I just think it's what you're telling yourself throughout the game. Um, how zoned in I want to say that you are. I don't really know how else I would put that. Um, but yeah,
So tell me about your time at ACC. You win the national championship in Texas. I remember that because I was talking to a couple players that were on the team at the time, but I still know now. What was that like, and then what was your transition like to junior? Because I can't imagine. I don't want to say it's a step down, but it's a completely different experience in the fact that it's still a high level of hockey, but it's a different experience altogether.
nationals was crazy. That was so fun. It's probably one of my best memories that I have. The excitement from when we won, like that adrenaline rush you got. The adrenaline rush I had the whole game, but when the final buzzer went, like there's no better feeling. And then to come home and we were at the parliament, we had interviews, we were in the news, like it was crazy. It was like, holy, this Brandon team did something. And it was like, now we're getting recognized. So that is pretty awesome. I forgot the second part of your question.
Yeah, and then the second part was how did you translate that into into junior? Because you obviously didn't go back to ACC. You came straight from the Gray Owls. You have to go through to the Gray Owls, pardon me. You have to go through the tryout process. What was that whole experience like, and how did you at the time hope that your experience of winning a national championship at the higher level would would translate to the Gray Owls eventually, not knowing where
Yeah.
you would be at the time of tryouts.
Yeah. So, it's kind of hard to go from that because you're going from a team that's essentially giving you everything for free. Now I'm back to paying to play, which is it's a little different. We all play out of the same rink. There's no traveling. You're not at school with them. I think those like play a big part. But tryouts were good. I'd kind of known from the coaches before tryouts were finished that they were interested in me. Um, they had a conversation with me on the bench during the tryouts. And then I was extremely happy when I went first overall in the draft pick. That was super awesome. That's another thing that I would say that I'm proud of for that. That's I would say a good accomplishment. And then yeah, I was just super excited to play, and we started playing. And the big thing with junior is you have girls from different levels. You have girls that have played university and college and they come back. You have girls that just played high school and they come, or just AAA and come. So it's hard getting used to playing with some type of players, but I think it's great experience to do as well because you're learning how to play with different girls, and it's fun. It's not it's serious, but it's not as serious, and I think it's a lot easier to have fun.
Can you talk to me a bit about that if you don't mind, or expand on that? Because like for me, when I think of a team won a national, then you know at a school level, not to make a big deal about it, but I can't imagine the pressures, the mental pressure, the physical pressure, and then having that, overcoming that, and then now going to a less pressure situation, but yet still a fun situation, and how you kind of are able to adjust to that, because I can't even imagine, like, I know I've never had the experience of being in like a championship game, but like the pressure and the nerves and how you kind of settle yourself down, and then to sort of take that experience into junior, and how that maybe prepared you for, eventually, what is to come.
I think I had already had a bit of experience from going from AAA to ACC. It was a little bit of a shift in the game. So just that itself is quite big. And even when you're younger and you're going from Pee Wee and Bantam and Midget, it's just you're shifting and you're playing with older people and better players, and you have to adjust it all. So I think that also helps as when you're younger, you're kind of prepared for that. But I think you just have to keep the love for the game at heart, honestly, and you just got to remember like I love this sport for a reason. It brings me so much joy. It's my escape from reality. I'm having so much fun, and now I'm just going to build a new, connection with new girls. And I think you just have to look at the positives of it all.
So, being a captain and the responsibilities that come with that, obviously you're looked upon for leadership. What are some of the challenges in perhaps bringing some of the newer players along to play the Gray Owl way, right? Because everybody comes in at the beginning of every season with a different skill set. How do you balance kind of the seriousness of it versus making sure that these players come along not only as people but as athletes?
I think
And is there a responsibility in part of that as a captain?
yeah, I mean, every girl that's joined the team, I've Curtis will send me their number before I add them into the team group chat, and I'll send them a message myself just to make sure that they're comfortable enough coming onto the team that they know they can talk to me about any situation. They can call, they can talk to me in person at any time of the day. Like I am available to talk. I want them to feel comfortable coming onto the team. And then after that, it's just kind of setting the boundaries and the rules within the dressing room and within the team. And if something does come up and I have to talk to a player in the hallway, that within that conversation that we're having, that they understand it's serious. But then when we go back in the dressing room, that they know I'm gonna have fun with them, and that I'm never mad at them. But if there's a situation that comes up and I have to, deal with it, let's say like a phone in the dressing room, well, I'm just gonna pull them out and just be like, hey, let's not do this. And they just understand that it's a serious conversation, but then we're going to go back in the dressing room and I'm going to forget about it. And we're going to move on. We're going to move past it. So I think just that barrier between having fun and understanding the boundaries within the team would be the hardest thing.
So talk to me if you can about the personality of this year's team because we saw the improvement last year with the bronze medal, and I made the proclamation at the beginning of the year. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's time for the Owls to change the color of the medal. That's kind of been what I've been thinking about you guys this year. Um, can you talk to me about what that experience was like at the end of last year, winning the bronze? Ultimately, the comeback. I'll remember that because I was at home with COVID and I'm watching Chelsea Dinnan go end to end in overtime to give you guys the bronze medal. Um, what was that like, and how did you hope that that would propel your team into this year?
Well, winning that last year was like winning gold, honestly, for us. It was so fun. We were so ready for that game. We were so excited for it. And I think coming into this, it just shows us, shows other people that don't exactly, people that might think of us as underdogs, that we are capable of winning. Even with the rookies this year, we have way more talent. It just keeps coming, and I'm never going to complain about it. We have such a goofy team. It's always light and happy in the room. It's so awesome. I go to hockey and my cheeks hurt after from laughing at all the jokes and everything being said. Even though we're down, we're still making sure everyone's positive and, no one's down on themselves. And I think everyone just knows that we all have each other's back. And it's
Uh,
just a good feeling.
As somebody that's been through the playoff grind, and as somebody that has won a national championship, how would you explain? I mean, I can explain playoff hockey as a broadcaster. It's a completely different kettle of fish, just from that perspective alone. But if a rookie comes to you and says, "Hey, Stephanie, what's playoff hockey? How do you describe to them what is going to be happening the next, 2 to 3 weeks?"
Uh, Honestly, the advice I would give a player if asking that would be go out there, play the exact same you're playing, but it's do or die. The nerves are going to come, and before a game, I get quite anxious, but as soon as I'm on the ice, they kind of go away. And that if you're having a bad game, don't beat yourself up on it because you're just going to keep performing worse. Just try and maybe pick on like a few things that you are like, okay, I need to start back checking more. I need to dump the puck and chase it because I'm struggling to get it out of the zone on the up the glass and out. Just pick certain things, but really just bear down on um, not giving up on the puck, I want to say. And that if you see the puck, go for it. It's really your only time now to really prove yourself, not only to the team, but to yourself.
Talk to me about your position. I mean, you're a forward, you're a defense, you're whatever I guess it is. I'm not given the. I mean, I've seen you play defense, and then 5 minutes later you're taking face-offs. What is that like? Because I remember you coming into the league as a forward, and then I saw you on the back end, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And now you've kind of gone back and forth based on whatever the team needs that game. Um, do you pride yourself on playing both positions, or how have you viewed that?
Well, I've never played D before. If I'm completely honest, before junior, I never played D before. I never even tried it. I'd maybe
Are
been
you
put on it for
serious?
like maybe even put on it for a power play and midget like once or twice, but no, I had never played D before. So then playoffs last year, we had one rough game against Blizzard, and two of our girls got concussed, and they were both on D. And my coach was like, "Hey, are you good playing D?" And I was like, "I'll try it. Like if that's what the team needs, like I'm up for it." So I tried it, and I was like, I'm kind of good at this. Like, this is fun. Like, I really like this position. So then I did actually sign up this year to play D. And my coaches said, okay. And then they ended up signing more D than anticipated,
Yeah.
just the way the draft went. So then they're like, are you okay playing center? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And then now it's just kind of like wherever they need me center, they need me wing, they need me D, they just kind of put me there. So walking into the rink, I never know what position I'm playing, but it really doesn't bother me because I do enjoy playing all the positions now. So it's quite fun.
I'm assuming you haven't volunteered to play goal before, right?
No, I don't think I would ever do that.
Okay, no, just thought I'd check. No, maybe they've given you the name of Swiss Army knife up and down the lineup, forwards, backwards. Finally, a couple more here before I let you go. Obviously, you scored a goal a couple of games ago. I think it was 1 or 2 games ago now. What was it like for you? Because I mean, obviously, as a forward, you get more, more scoring opportunities than you would as a defenseman. How have you kind of viewed the offensive side of your game this year?
The offensive side, it's tough because if I'm being completely honest, scoring or assisting or seeing my teammates score all feels the exact same. I could have 0 points this whole year and I would be just as happy as if I was Chelsea Dinnan with all the points in the league. So it's honestly, I think goals are just a team. They're team goals. So yeah, I probably get more excited when someone else scores than if I score because I'm just so happy for them and I'm just so proud of them. So yeah.
So, how far has this team come since September? Because I have an answer in my head about how far you guys have come. I'm just wondering from a captain's perspective how you viewed it.
Um, I think we started the season off pretty good. We've had some bumps in the road as a team. Some pretty big hiccups, I want to say, that we've figured out as a team, which I honestly can say that blessing in disguise has brought us closer together to have dealt with some of the things we've dealt with this year. And yeah, I just think the whole team's ready. We all want to win.
The Browns had you coming back for more, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I hate to break the news to you. The team that has won the LG has not necessarily had success winning the provincial championship. I don't know if you're aware of that at all, but it is hard to win both. In my experience in the league, only one team's been able to do it, win both in the same season. That's how tough it is. Why do you think your team will be able to win both?
I think we all want it. The drive we have, as long as we go into the games, we don't play the other team's levels and we play our game. Um, I think we have a good chance. I think winning the tournament really just gave the girls the confidence maybe missing to say, look, we can do this. So I don't know. I'm quite excited to see how far we go and what we can make happen.
On social media, I asked people to submit questions. There was two of them that popped into my head here, and then I'll close off with one. The first question was, which player did you look up to, or who did you model your game after? And I'm assuming this is hockey related. So I'll rephrase the question, and that is, who as an athlete did you look up to when you played sports?
Um, so I don't know if many people know this, but my cousin is Jennifer Jones. So she's an Olympian for curling. So growing up, I was always like, whoa, like if you work hard and whatnot, you can make it there, which it has nothing to do with hockey or soccer essentially, but just the drive and the want of it. And just growing up with her around at Christmas and stuff, it was pretty cool to like be able to wear her medals and to have that influence on you to want to be a good player.
So I'm assuming you're watching the Scotties this week.
Yeah.
Pretty good start for the team as we're recording this. I think 5-1 is the last I saw. I don't know if they played this afternoon, but that's the last number I have. And the last question I have uh, from here, and this question was submitted to me anonymously, but I'll let it slide. What would it mean for you to see your team win the provincials this year?
Oh, everything. These girls deserve it. They've worked so hard. even just, when we get down in the game, the frustration because they want it so bad. It would be to finish off, I want to say my hockey career with a win for my team would be so amazing. I've played hockey with a lot of these girls growing up, so to win it with them again would be so awesome. And then just for the rookies to start off their junior careers with a win would be so amazing. And I think for the team, just as underdogs, exactly to prove to everyone, like, look, we can do this. I think would really, really benefit everyone that doubted us.
So you have a game this Sunday. The trick is it's against the Manitoba Blizzard. The second trick is it could be your first round opponent. How do you walk that fine line of being prepared for the playoffs versus the possibility of seeing them in the 2 out of 3 scenario?
I think the same. I think we just got to go in and play our game. They are a pretty big rivalry of ours. They are usually pretty rough games. I know there's some players that butt heads out there, so I think we just got to go and play our game, keep our head up, and yeah, treat it like a playoff game.
For those that don't know, a win gets you guys third. A loss complicates things. Well, you guys will know what will happen because the Prairie Blaze will play on Saturday night to prevent the Western Predators from getting first place. That is just bizarre to me. But we don't even know where we're opening the playoffs and what we're doing and who's playing where. I'll end it off with this one, Stephanie, and that is as a multi-sport athlete for soccer, futsal. So we'll call it 3 sports because I was given a crash course education by one of my uh, soccer friends on what futsal was. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like you don't even want to know what I thought it was. He explained it to me as basically soccer inside a gym. So that was enough to kind of get my head around what was going on. But by the way, congratulations on winning the MCAC title
Thank you.
this past weekend. Um, but I'll end it with this one, and that is there are other players, athletes, male or female, that are multi-sport athletes that say, you know what, I want to play soccer, I want to play futsal, I want to play hockey. I just don't know how to balance it all. But I want to play both. As somebody that's been a multi-sport athlete, sometimes 2 at one time, mostly 2 at one time, what would your advice be as far as handling that? Whether it's football or anything, just multiple sports
I'd
in
say,
in a multiple sport athlete scenario.
yeah, if you're doubting it, I say do it. It's awesome. It's so beneficial to be able to play more than one sport. Um, the biggest thing or the biggest advice I'd get is your schedule is going to conflict. There's no way it's not going to. For whatever reason, you're going to get unlucky. And it's at the beginning of the year to really communicate with both coaches what you're doing, saying, look, I'm going to prioritize this team and I'm going to prioritize this team. And on these days, there's a confliction and I cannot make it. And I'm sorry. And give a heads up way ahead of time. If you leave it to last minute, you're almost giving the impression that you don't care. So I'd say at the beginning of the year to really like lay it down for them. Look, this is the situation I'm in. I would love to play both. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. These are the days that I will not be able to make it. And if they have to pull an AP, then they have a heads up on it. And the other advice would be to make sure that your teammates are aware of the exact same thing.
I'm assuming, and not to get too far down the road, I'm assuming those conversations went fairly well.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, I had a few more questions, but just what this show is out of time. I have to keep this to about a half an hour. I'm probably a little bit over that right now, but thanks for joining me. Good luck in the playoffs, and hopefully I'll be seeing you on the ice in about the 3rd week of March.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Stephanie Jones, signing up for joining us. That's going to be today's show. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for another show coming up soon. Bye for now.